Hello chatting chatters, ML7 here. For those who don't know me, I'm a long-time Overwatch player that really enjoy playing Marvel Rivals in the beta, and I'm here to help you pick your Marvel Rivals main based on your Overwatch main. Of course, the games are different, but there are some playstyle and kit similarities, and hopefully this video will help you get a better idea on who you like to play in Marvel Rivals. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It helps me out a ton. I'll be chatting about the heroes in alphabetical order. I hope I still remember it. Alright, now, let's dive into this. Ana. Ana's my favorite and most played Overwatch hero, so I'll probably yap a bit more here. Her abilities resemble those from Mantis, Luna, and Jeff. Mantis has an ability called Spore Slumber, which is basically her sleep dart but with a nade trajectory. She throws a spore to sedate the nearest enemy. You can get creative and throw long-range Spore Slumbers or even come up with preset spots for them to open up teamfights. Be careful though, because similar to Ana's Sleep Dart, the sleeping target can be awakened before its full duration, although in Marvel Rivals' case, by their allies, not enemies, if they destroy the illusion that appears behind the slept target. Her basic attacks are similar to Ana's unscope shots. Luna Snow was my most played hero in the beta, and I think that her playstyle is close to Ana's. Oh, Frozen! Starlock Frozen on me!
You're gonna pass.
Woo! With the same resource, you can choose to focus enemies or heal allies, and her stun, Absolute Zero, can be compared to Ana's Sleep Dart, as you can look for long-range stuns to open up teamfights. Her Ice Art's ability is hit scan, like Ana's scope shots, but with a limited range that can damage multiple enemies or heal multiple allies as it passes through targets. Jeff, my beloved, has something called Healing Bubble. This ability is similar to Ana's nade because if your allies take the bubbles, they get healed and they receive a 15% healing boost. It doesn't anti-nade the enemies, but it has some other cool effects, like giving your allies movement speed and knocking back nearby enemies. This ability is broken! A small shout out also to Cloak and Dagger's Veil of Light Force ability that creates a shield that passes through allies and grants them a healing boost. Ashe. Ashe is hella close to Hela. No? Yeah, okay. A really good Hela is Hela's carry. Okay, that was the last one, I promise. For now. Your right-click, Piercing Knight, fires multiple thorns that detonate after a delay. Imagine hitting an enemy with your TNT as Ashe and then not having to shoot it as it just explodes by itself. Additionally, you have an Explosive Sphere, the Soul Drainer ability that has a pretty short range but does an AoE stun, so proper placement of it, similar to how you would use Ashe's TNT, can carry fights. For mobility, Hela has, in my opinion, a way better mobility skill than Ashe does, so you'll find repositioning with her quite easy. Her ultimate, view it like instead of throwing Bob, you become Bob by going into the sky and throwing huge projectiles that do massive amounts of damage to the enemies. Give her a try. Baptiste. This one's very simple. If you play Baptiste, you'll definitely enjoy playing Rocket Raccoon, as the playstyle is kind of the same thing. The weapon, both damage and healing, is an enhanced version of Bob's gun. He has more mobility than him because he can run on walls, dash, and descend slowly from heights. Rocket Raccoon doesn't have an immortality field, but he does have a rebirth beacon that revives a fallen ally and gives armor packs and rocket jetpacks from time to time. His kit is loaded. And finally, the ultimate. It's a damage boost, but instead of you having to shoot through a window to benefit from it, you just have to be in its LOS. Careful. Enemies can destroy it. And let's add one more hero here too, Cloak and Dagger. Dagger has an ability called Dagger Storm that kind of resembles Baptiste's Regenerative Burst, but the rest of the kit isn't close. Up to you to see if you like playing them. Bastion. This hero will be mentioned a lot during this video, so brace yourselves. Bastion is pretty close to the Punisher. His attacks let him do really good damage from any distance, is a tank buster, can reposition with his cable, like you would with Bastion's grenade, has a grenade, you can go in turret form, similar to how Bastion could go back before his rework, like in Overwatch Classic. Very, very easy hero to pick up, a must-know for all future Duelist players. Brigitte. This one might be surprising. If you love playing Brig, you'll probably enjoy playing Captain America. The gameplay feel is similar. You get close to the enemies and start fighting them. No range stuff involved. I feel like you can be way more aggressive with Captain America than with Brig though, as you're a vanguard and not a strategist, so you have to be part of the front line. There's no inspire passive to play around, so that encourages a way more in-your-face type of gameplay. It's like playing Brig on steroids. You can sprint, deflect projectiles with your shield, charge with your shield, throw your shield at the enemies, slam from the sky into them, and launch them up. And your ultimate gives you and your allies bonus health and movement boosts. So if you enjoy playing Brig in the front line, yeah, play Captain America. Cassidy. Hit scan specialists, I recommend playing Hela. I explained her kit when we chatted about Ashe a bit earlier, and I think that the same hero applies for your case as well. Her fire rate and positioning is similar to Cassidy, and the orb that she has a bit of a longer range that Cassidy's nade. I gotta give a special shout out to Winter Soldier though, because he has a Giga Chad pistol to play with, but I feel like it might be trickier to pick him up initially, as he is more combo based rather than just pure aim. Start Hela, and then maybe give him a shot as well. See what works for you. D.va. This one is hard, but I'll have to go with Penny Parker. You have infinite bullets and can play a very passive, peel-oriented playstyle. Imagine you're peeling for your supports in Overwatch. Your mobility is fine, but can't zoom around the map like other heroes. Compare Wrecking Ball's mobility versus D.va's mobility. The feel isn't quite there, but I can't think of a similar hero to D.va, apart from heroes that have ultimates close to D.va's bombs, such as Iron Man, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch. Doomfist. Doomfist mains, you have two options. If you miss playing DPS Doomfist, look in Iron Fist. He's a duelist that packs a punch. No? Still no? Okay. Who is very combo reliant and has a very complicated kit that is probably loaded with a bunch of techs. If you prefer playing tank Doomfist, then I'd suggest trying out Torg. Not quite the same thing, but some of the animations remind you of Doomfist. Torg's Storm Surge can be seen as Doomfist's Punch, just that with extra movement potential. The ultimates are pretty close too. Also, a combo heavy hero, so that might be right up your alley. Echo. If you like playing Echo, Iron Man would be the one you'd probably main in Marvel Rivals. Flight available always, poke from long range, a laser beam for medium to close range. You get the idea by just looking at the footage. Echo's ultimate though doesn't compare with Iron Man's, as Iron Man has a huge pulse cannon, while Echo has a copy. But guess who has a Loki? Copy. Loki has a copy! Even stronger than Echo's, as you don't even have to farm your gold charge off the copied target, because you already have it once you copy. So if you enjoy playing Echo before you get your ultimate, Iron Man is the way to go. If the copy is your favorite part of the kit, then maybe try Loki. Copy? Genji. Oh, Genji. Where do I begin? Let's just list the heroes that have similar playstyle vibes to him. Spider-Man, Psylocke, Black Panther, Magic, Iron Fist, and there are probably more. I recommend trying them all and see what fits your playstyle best. Spider-Man if you want to be very fast and all over the place, for the high sensitivity Genji players. Psylocke if you have a more calculated playstyle and like to keep your range a bit, go in only when you need to and get out. Like poking before fights, going in to secure a kill / follow up a dive, and then dash out, for the more tactical Genji players. Black Panther, Magic, and Iron Fist if you love dashing in and dueling up enemies close and then surviving out with a bit of low HP. For the fearless Genji players that spam I need healing after they feed, or the ones that play Genji for his combos. You have a lot of heroes to experiment with, give them all a try and see what sticks. Hanzo. This one is easy. Play Hawkeye. You can shoot a single arrow or 3 explosive arrows, double jump, damage and slow, and knock down flying heroes with your hypersonic arrow. But that's not all. Imagine that one year, Hanzo received a sword from Genji as a birthday gift. Now try playing Hawkeye. In addition to your bow, you also have a katana that you can use to do damage and launch up enemies or do damage and deflect incoming projectiles. Pretty cool. Ultimate isn't similar, but worth mentioning, as I think a bunch of us miss a lot of shots when playing with archers in any game. You'll definitely be able to land shots doing Hunter's Sight, as the ult captures after images of enemies in his view that stand still, and doing damage to the after images will be transferred to the corresponding enemy. Hazard. Well, hello there, future Venom player. If you love playing Hazard, you'll have a ton of fun playing Venom too. You can climb walls in the ceiling, jump into the backline, get close to unleash your tentacles onto the enemies, an ability that has similar range and usage as Hazard's Spike Guard. The ultimate plays a bit differently, but the idea is the same. Land a huge ultimate with the help of its big area of effect onto the enemies. Once you get a couple of games in with Venom, you'll see what I mean. The flow of the gameplay and what you have to do in teamfights is pretty close. Illari. The closest hero I could come up with would be Loki, as he can take soft off angles and to a certain extent his regeneration domain kind of acts as a healing pylon for a limited time, but the gameplay fluidity isn't quite there for me. Y'all got any other suggestions? Junker Queen. Magic maybe, but just for the feel, not for the same job in teamfights. Magic is squishier than Junker Queen and doesn't have any team utility, but she does have high amounts of damage, gets close and uses her sword in different ways. Spins, strikes, summons a limbo demon, has short distance TP and converts damage inflicted on enemies into bonus health to herself. Not the same thing, but you get the same gaming experience as they both use stabby pointy stuff in their kits. Oh, and how could I forget? Wolverine is pretty close. He also uses sharp pointy things to do damage, is a close range hero, heals himself with one of his passives, and has a shout, but only for himself, not for his team, that briefly makes him tankier by reducing incoming damage. See which one does the trick for you. Junkrat. Junkrat is all about chaos and random spam. Actually, it's calculated spam. And Marvel Rivals has some heroes that have similar annoyance levels to play against. Yes, Junkrat is my kryptonite, I'm biased. If you want to play Vanguard, play Penny Parker. And if you want to play Duelist, play Squirrel Girl. Penny Parker focuses more on controlling an area rather than forcing opportunities. Penny gameplay is more defensive Junkrat style. Imagine setting up traps and forcing the enemies to not engage you in that area. You have arachno mines, cyberweb snares, a ton of visual clutter, and a pain in the to deal against. Squirrel Girl. For the more aim/trick shot oriented Junkrat mains, focus on the long range spam, bounce projectiles off walls, look for some long cheeky crowd control with your acorn, and her ultimate is also pretty similar to Junkrat's Tire, as it does massive amounts of damage and kinda rolls everywhere. It's complete chaos. Juno. There are a lot of movement boosts in the game, especially on ultimates. Shout out to Mantis from the strategist category. But gameplay wise, I feel like she's pretty similar to Luna Snow. You have more chances to do damage with Luna than with Juno, and you also have a way of regenerating your HP with abilities by using Ice Arts, the ability in which she claps her hands, and Absolute Zero, her stun. And you have a lot more duel potential. Picture a more threatening Juno when playing her. The comparison isn't as strong as it is with the other heroes, but your job in fights is pretty much the same. Kiriko mains. I suggest you play Cloak and Dagger or Mantis. The Kiriko kunai spam gameplay is close to daggers as you can use them to heal allies, but you can also use them to damage enemies. Her Dagger Storm ability is similar to Suzu projectile-wise, but instead of it providing a cleanse, it just heals allies over time. It feels really good using it though. Kiriko's beloved Suzu ability is also kind of present in this game, as Cloak has his Dark Teleportation ability. This ability doesn't cleanse allies, but what it does instead is it makes them untargetable, invisible to enemies, and gives them a movement boost. A buffed up Suzu, but you have to be in range, it's not a projectile. Give Mantis a try also. If you land headshots, you get rewarded with extra life orbs, so the same head level spam technique applies for her as well. Additionally, you don't have a cleanse, but you can apply a damage boost to your allies. Defensive positioning is rewarded for Mantis because if you don't receive damage, you move faster. So imagine playing a Kiriko that waits for Kitsune Rush to be up. Their ultimates, Kitsune Rush gives you a speed boost, faster cooldowns and faster fire rate, while Soul Resurgence gives you movement boost and heal over time. Excess health converts to bonus health. Usages are the same. Oh, and there's one more thing here. I feel like Mantis has more 1v1 potential that people give her credit for, so if you want to play a more flanking style with Mantis, I think you can get some pretty good trades if that's more your playstyle, similar to flanking Kiriko. Keep in mind though that if you do this, your teammates might not like it as there's no role lock in Marvel Rivals, so you might be the only strategist on the field, so analyze case by case if it's worth it. Lifeweaver. Yeah, I'm sorry, no idea here. The closest one would be Mantis, but not exactly. Soggy Lifeweaver mains. But don't despair. Gamma Fastball, Hulk and Wolverine's team up is close to Life Grip, as you can see. It's like an extended version of it, I'd say. But yeah, that's about it. Lucio. Lucio mains, you got the following choices. If you love changing between healing and speed boost and doing damage, then play Storm. You can heal with her, but you can change your aura between movement boost or damage boost for your allies. You also have an upgraded aura with your Goddess boost. If activated, your Tornado, the movement boost aura, also slows enemies, and your Thunder, your damage boost aura, summons lightning to inflict damage onto enemies. If you prefer playing support strategist in this game as well, then I recommend picking between Luna Snow or Mantis. With Luna Snow's ultimate, you can toggle between healing or damage boosting, and with Mantis's ult, you heal over time and movement boost your allies. I know, a lot of things to remember here, but the TLDR is: want to play DPS, Duelist, play Storm. Want to play support, strategist, play Luna or Mantis. Mauga. No similar playstyle in Marvel Rivals. Thank you. But if you want to pick up gun and go brrrr, play Punisher. Mei. Groot may have a similar playstyle to Mei. Make enemies rage quit because of your well-placed walls and clever use of your crowd control abilities. Groot has two walls. One that attacks enemies if nearby enemies attack Groot and his allies, and one that grants Groot bonus health if Groot and nearby allies do damage. His ultimate is closer to Zarya's Graviton Surge, but I think it can apply in Mei's case as well. Just imagine a Mei ult that pulls enemies to the center and imprisons them. He can poke with his Spore Bomb and doesn't have a lot of mobility. His walls are annoying to play against, so yeah, I'd say Groot is like Mei. Mercy. Masteress and Bell Mercy sound good to you? Then Adam is gonna be your main. Although his ways of dealing damage is close to Zen's usage of his orbs, your focus will be primarily on proper ability usage with your bouncing stream of healing and your soul bond that grants healing over time and distributes damage taken across the bond. You have the possibility of landing huge reses if your allies are in range when you cast it, and of course have fallen the battlefield, and as an extra, you have as a passive your own self-res, which is on a pretty big cooldown to be fair, but still good nonetheless. If Adam's kit doesn't quite click as he doesn't have mobility at all, and you want to be all over the battlefield as a good Mercy is with her Guardian Angel techs, then I suggest trying out Jeff, Luna Snow, or even Mantis as the gameplay flow is similar and they have more mobility. Moira. If you have a more defense-oriented Moira playstyle and you want to focus primarily on healing, then Jeff is the hero for you. Jeff's healing splash is kind of like Moira's healing spray. Positioning is roughly the same and he has good mobility. But if you're more inclined to go full TikTok Moira mode and ignore your teammates and leave voice chat so you can solo carry, then you have to play Scarlet Witch. The way she does damage is to the enemies, has something similar to a Fade and a damage orb. The ultimate is an upgrade though, as you can go in pure chaos mode and explode. You become a D.va bomb. Now, if you enjoy playing a complete gameplay style that can swap between healing and damage, then Cloak and Dagger will be your main. Cloak does damage in the same way Moira does, and his Dark Teleportation skill is close to what Moira had in an experimental patch a while ago, in which, when she used Fade, she cleansed allies. And it was super fun. Healing wise though, Cloak and Dagger ain't the same thing, but I think you'll enjoy playing them. Orisa. There isn't a Vanguard in the game that has a kid that reminds me of Orisa, but Black Panther has a spear, so at least there's that. Vanguards in Marvel Rivals focus more on going in rather than poking long distance, then walking up menacingly to the enemies. You know, now that I think about it, maybe Magneto. With the Metallic Fusion team up with Scarlet Witch, you get a new ability that lets you spam with your Great Sword that was the most broken combo in the beta, almost permanently banned in the beta tournament. You also have some long-range poke abilities, a Metallic Curtain that is similar to Orisa's Spin as you block incoming projectiles, but I'd say these abilities are closer to other heroes kits that we'll dive into later. So yeah, let's just go with play Magneto if you like playing Orisa. Pharah. I talked about Iron Man for Echo, but I think that his kit is similar to Pharah's as well. Closer even if you ask me, because the ultimate is kind of used like Pharah's rocket barrage, and you also have a micro missile barrage. If you enjoy playing poke flying heroes, try him out. I also think that he's pretty easy to pick up if you're new to the game, so yeah, definitely load up a game or two with him. Ramattra. Nemesis form from Ramattra is similar to Captain America gameplay. Walk up to them and bonk the enemies with your shield instead of your fists. That's about it. Reaper. The Punisher is the hero for you. He has two attacks, Adjudication, which is an automatic rifle that you'll use medium to long range, and another one called Deliverance that uses his shotgun, which you'll adore. Get close and personal and almost one-shot squishies with good aim and be a Vanguard buster. You'll be responsible for melting the tanks. His Vantage connection has similar usages as Reaper's Raid form. If you want to throw yourself at the enemies while screaming flanking, I suggest you don't do it. But you can use it to chase a low HP enemy down and pull out your shotgun to finish the kill, or to just put yourself into safer spots to play from. Your choice. Shout out to Star-Lord's Blaster Barrage, as it's quite close to Reaper's Dead Blossom, only that pretty weak compared to it. Reinhardt. If you play Reinhardt for the shield blocking, play Doctor Strange. 800 HP shield, one of the biggest ones in the game. The rest of his kit isn't close to Reinhardt at all, but I think it's pretty intuitive and pretty easy to pick up. And the teleporter ability is something you'll have a ton of fun with. If you play Reinhardt for the adrenaline rush of bonking the enemies with your big hammer, then play Thor. Heavy combo based hero, but you can pin it with your hammer and start swinging at enemies. Very satisfying if played correctly, but can be pretty tricky to master. Roadhog. The closest hero I feel like could resemble Roadhog would be Winter Soldier, as he has a hook. The gameplay feels sometimes like playing Roadhog with his one-shot combo. You spam, hook somebody, and then look for some extra damage to finish the kill. Maybe melee, use Trooper's Fist, or even his Tainted Voltage. You are clearly squishier than Hog as you're a duelist and not a vanguard, but if played right, I think you'll see what I mean. Squishy, higher APM Hog. What is Sigma? Sigma mains, embrace Magneto. Use your metallic curtain like you use Sigma's kinetic grasp to block all incoming projectiles, be a vanguard with low mobility that is very hard to deal against if you walk up close to him, and enjoy the pokish vanguard playstyle. Magneto's ult isn't comparable to Sigma's gravitic flux, but you can view it as an incredibly buffed kinetic grasp. Absorbing enemy projectiles enhances the meteor's power for massive amounts of damage. Sojourn. Luna Snow Ice Arts has similar properties to Sojourn's Railgun as it passes through enemies, but unlike Sojourn's Railgun, you can also heal allies with it. Other than that, I may be pushing it with this, but Moon Knight has some similarities. Good mobility, roughly same range, and the Ankh reminds me of Sojourn's E ability that was really strong. If you are good at using Disruptor Shot, like you know where to place it, I think you'll do great with Moon Knight. Soldier 76. Oh man, here we go again. The Punisher, his adjudication, which is his automatic rifle, will be your weapon of choice most of the time as it rewards tracking skills. The Scourge Grenade can be used to leap backward for some quick repositioning, similar to how you can reposition or get to good spots with Soldier's Helix rockets. We've already chatted about the Punisher's kit being close to Bastion and Reaper, but his ultimate is the closest to Soldier's Visor. You'll load a ton of bullets and missiles into the enemies. You always need more bullets. Similar vibe, but a similar vibe we also got going for Star-Lord's ultimate, so maybe you can give him a try as well, although his playstyle is more close range and similar to Tracer's. Sombra. I always viewed Sombra mains as players that love to control the flow of the entire game, more focused on the macro aspect of the game, and in Marvel Rivals, I feel that Loki has low-key the closest playstyle to this. You have to be smart and very calculated with where you set up your illusions, creating huge pressure with off angles, and being able to deceive the enemies with your repositioning by swapping places with them, similar to how you translocate away from teamfights in Overwatch. You can also become invisible for a brief period, heal allies or damage enemies with a Mystic Missile as you're a strategist, and create a regeneration domain that heals over time allies in its range and converts incoming damage into further healing. It's kind of like Mirror Watch Sombra as she was more support oriented. Oh, and you do more damage if you go behind enemies and stab them with your melee. All they have to do now is add a boop voice line and you feel like you're playing Sombra. The ultimate isn't similar at all though, as it resembles Echo's copy, but all in all, you gotta be 5-head to play an efficient Loki. Symmetra. Scarlet Witch does similar damage to Sim, tracking with your beam and throwing orbs at the enemies. Doctor Strange has a teleporter ability, but it's on a pretty long cooldown and he's a vanguard, a tank, so you might not like playing him. Namor kind of has the same gameplay vibe as her as you set up turrets and poke, but still not quite how Sim is. I'd suggest trying all three of them and see which one you like playing the most. Torbjorn. Torbjorn has a turret, Namor has 2 turrets. Best friends.
Yeah, actually, they're not called turrets, they're called Aquatic Dominion.
Okay, but it's similar playstyle. Place turrets in good spots and spam. Namor's ultimate to a certain extent is like getting all of Torbjorn's ultimate into one big spot and throwing it at the enemy rather than leaving it to do damage over time, so we have that going for them as well. You play Torbjorn, you'll pick up Namor in no time. Tracer. If you're a Tracer main, I suggest playing Star-Lord. Has dashes, moves fast, and is pretty hard to catch. Range is similar, close to medium range, annoying to deal against, and then out of the fights. You have to have high-octane gameplay. Can't play Star-Lord with a relaxed playstyle. You have to have good tracking, react fast under pressure to avoid damage as you're pretty squishy, and have a good understanding of which target to prioritize in fights for maximum teamfight winning potential. Venture. If you love Venture's mobility and their damage, you'll get the same feeling if you play Venom and use your ultimate. But during the neutral gameplay, before ultimates, I'd say Jeff might be the closest that can compare with Venture's mobility by begging underground, as Jeff goes underwater, and Jeff is incredibly fun to play, same as Venture. So, I'd say if you love playing Venture because you dig their gameplay, give Jeff a try as you stay a lot underground as well. Widowmaker, Black Widow. I mean, just look at this.
Oh, hell no, man. What the man?
Winston jump, Hulk jump. Winston fist, Hulk fist. Winston has more HP in ultimate, Hulk has more HP in ultimate. Of course, Hulk's kit is more diversified and Winston has a shield that your team can play around, but I think they're pretty close, at least with how they approach fights. Lore-wise, Winston and Bruce Banner also have the same job as like both scientists, so there's that also going on for them. Wrecking Ball. The only tanky hero that comes close to Wrecking Ball's unparalleled mobility is Venom. You can swing through the map, climb walls, attach to ceilings, look for slams that launches enemies up. You also generate bonus health against damage. The lower Venom's health is, the greater the bonus health, so it kind of is used like Wrecking Ball's adaptive shield's ability. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in this. Venom's close to him. Zarya. Magneto's Metal Bulwark and Iron Bulwark abilities are like Zarya's bubbles. In one you shield allies, in one you shield yourself. And the damage taken transforms into rings on Magneto's back. Those iron rings you can use to buff up your mag cannon. Higher stacks of rings increases damage, and full stacks knocks back enemies. So feel like getting charged for your bubbles for more damage. Zarya's ultimate is closer to Groot's ultimate as you pull enemies into it, but Magneto will probably give you a better feeling for Zarya type of gameplay. Shout out to Doctor Strange's ult as well, as it kind of resembles Graviton Surge, just that you use your body rather than you throwing a projectile to get enemies close to it, you know? And finally, Zenyatta. Zen's kit reminds me of two heroes in Marvel Rivals. Adam Warlock for his shooting style, single target quantum energy or a clutter of quantum energy, and Mantis for the rest of the kit. Mantis has orbs on a resource that can damage boost allies, damage boost herself, or heal allies, and a sleep ability that we chatted about at the beginning of the video. These orbs recharge after some time, but if you land a headshot with her, you restore one orb instantly. Her life energy blast is also projectile, unlike Adam's single target quantum energy, which is hit scan, so she might feel better to play for you. Not to mention that her ult is kind of transcendence in the sense that it gives healing over time, doesn't make her invulnerable, but instead gives movement speed to allies. Similar timing to use in fights as well. Also, please let me know if you agree or disagree with the comparisons and if you view things a bit differently for some heroes, so that we can help people find out who they'd enjoy playing in this game as well. There are some Overwatch heroes that I couldn't find any similarities with, or I was kind of pushing it. Heroes like Lifeweaver, D.va, Mauga, Venture, Symmetra, Ramattra, and others. If you have any suggestions or better suggestions for which hero the players that main them should play in Marvel Rivals, please let me know in the comments. And we've reached the end of the video. As you've seen, there are a lot of heroes that share similar playstyles, either by their gameplay feel or by how their abilities are designed, but keep in mind that every hero is unique in its own way and has their own intricate flow in their respective games. Oh, and one more thing, there's a Twitch drops campaign currently going on for the Marvel Rivals category. Hop on twitch.tv/ML7 support to make sure to get your drops, and we'll be waiting for you there, chatting chatters. Don't forget to say hi. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me on my other platforms as well, link should be somewhere over here and in the description, you can do that too. I'd really appreciate it. I don't know how much Marvel Rivals content we'll be posting on this main YouTube channel, but I definitely know that we will be posting Marvel Rivals ML7 content on my secondary channel, ML7 So in case you're not subscribed to that one and you're interested in more Marvel Rivals related stuff from me, don't forget to subscribe. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Till next time, ML7 out. Grumpy.
Oh, hell.